Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. And a special warm welcome to all of you who've been tuning in to our podcast, the iHypnosis Life Coaching Journeys. As you know, this podcast is a curation of some truly amazing healers and coaches, people who are out there who are truly making that difference in the world. And this is our way of bringing some of the best out there to you right here. So my guest today is someone who most definitely wears that mantle. And with this, of course, before I go any further, let me invite you in, Kartika. Good to have you here. You are more than welcome to turn on your camera, and good to have you on our show.
Hello, hi Rahul. Hello, everybody, whoever is watching. Very honored to be here in the show today and to connect with everybody who is gonna be watching in the future or is watching right now. Yeah.
So, as I said, the intent of these podcasts is to bring together some of the most amazing people out there, people who are truly making a difference. And I'd love for you to tell people, so what is it like if someone was to ask you, so Kartika, what do you do? So, what would you want to tell them?
So I have a company called Expand Love, and in Expand Love, we are helping people who are going through divorces and separation and breakups to heal their traumas and to heal themselves so they can
Mm,
thrive by themselves and also get into relationships. So we help
nice,
them heal and thrive and then get into relationships. So this is the
beautiful.
main work that we do. And I
Yeah,
myself am a relationship coach and also a self-love coach. This is broadly uh, the crux
beautiful.
of our work.
Yeah. So what we will definitely be doing in a few moments, like the way you're talking about what you do, I'm sure there's a story behind it. I'm sure there was a journey that led you to this point where today, when you speak for someone who is on that path, someone who's really looking for this, I'm sure they will resonate with what you're saying, and they can feel your intent. They can feel your passion when you talk about what you do. So one of the reasons why this podcast exists is because a lot of times people forget how we got here, right? And a lot of times people are not able to understand, okay, you're doing all these things, you're saying all these things, right? How did you get here? Because I'm at a point where I'm struggling, right? So this podcast is designed in such a way that they're able to get a deeper look, a deeper sense of how you were able to overcome so many of these twists and turns on your journey to get here. So you can go as far back as you want to. Some people call it the hero's journey. So you can take us back in time to what what series of incidents or what experiences in your life led you to this point.
Hmm. Thank you for asking. Um, I started doing this work because, as they call it, the dark night of the soul that everyone faces
Mm.
and goes through is
Mm-hmm.
something that I arrived at when I was going through my separation. And
Mm.
I was very anxious, full of panic attacks. It was a very hard time for me.
Mm.
And I remember that at this time, the turn of events were such that I somebody even drugged me. So I was in a
Mm.
space where couldn't understand space. So I would wake up in the morning and be like, oh, how do I get out of bed?
Wow.
Like, what's happening here? So
Wow.
I never went to a doctor for
Mm.
it because I knew what was causing it. When I separated from my partner,
Mm.
all my fears, all my subconscious traumas, everything just came to the surface, also because of
Mm.
this drug. And as I realized that it was not him that was responsible for my pain and me, uh,
mm,
that was a very big shift in my life, and it gave me a lot of power to be able to heal myself just by myself.
mm.
So I
Wow.
was actually very ashamed to share about anything that I was going through.
Mm,
And I think if there was anybody that I tried to share, they were not in a space to like hold me,
mm,
thankfully. And
mm,
so so I came across this book that was called You Can Heal Your Life by Louis Hay.
mm.
One of my
Yeah.
friends had sent me, and I
Wow.
just started applying it.
Mm,
And that is why one of the deepest things that I work with is subconscious mind and self
mm,
love and
mm,
affirmations, healing the childhood traumas, knowing that how
mm,
we are creating our own reality and experiences,
mm.
how we are on a journey of evolution, and everything is happening for our own good. This was
Right.
the most striking influence on my life, and it's
Mm,
it's so it's so interesting. I applied this book to tip to toe, like everything, every day, because my
wow.
mind was making me crazy. I felt that I would lose my mind. I was at
Mm,
that point, and there was nothing beyond that I go to. Like this is like the lowest that you can arrive at, and I knew that I was
right.
kind of departing from
Mm,
this life if I wouldn't do anything. And
mm,
so whatever I was doing was like slowly, slowly taking me up, and I would give everything. All of my day was just about me healing, feeling better, and yeah, and as I was saying, interestingly, I got to know later that the birthday for Louis Hay is the same as my birthday.
wow.
so so she's been my biggest teacher. Not, I wouldn't say biggest, but the most first
Mm,
teacher that helped me
mm,
stay in this reality and not leave.
mm.
And I would
Wow.
also say to thrive, because she very deeply instilled in me that we deserve all good, we can have it all.
Mm,
It's
mm,
just how you
mm,
shift your mind and how you heal yourself. So
mm,
yeah, I applied it, and then very quickly I started feeling better, and probably I would have been diagnosed with I don't know what all if I would have gone to a
mm.
psychologist or a psychiatrist. I just healed everything by myself. It's been many, many
Wow.
years now. I think around um, 8 years, and I have been very
Wow.
mentally stable and just going deeper
Mm,
and deeper in my journey.
mm,
Yeah, and I feel that I'm so powerful that come what may, I know a way out because of what I've been through. Because I
mm,
was held so deeply in so many different ways,
mm.
and I was supported and shown the light. And so I know the light now.
Wow.
And this is why I do this work, because
Mm.
I know what people are going through. And I
Yeah.
think where I went is people are usually a little bit above that. They don't go so down. And so I know that if I'm walking by them, they will connect with themselves. They will
Right.
realize themselves, and
Mm,
they will understand what love is, how they have so much love in us already, in them. All of us
mm.
are love.
Yeah.
So, there's
True.
ways to tap into that, and yeah, be mindful of your own self and whatever we are experiencing in this reality. So yeah, I just help them, walk with them, to let go of
Mm,
their past, to learn how to heal their pain,
mm, mm,
to yeah, find the self confidence back. So these are the three steps that are involved in a healing
mm,
journey, which is learning
mm,
how to be emotionally resilient,
mm,
face the thing, learn how to be present with your emotions, and
mm.
then learn how to let go of the person, reframe your stories, tap into the possibilities.
Right.
And then the last one, which is realize your self-worth,
Mm.
because we're,
Wow.
we're all special
Mm.
and
Oh yeah.
precious.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so important to, and as you say it, for someone who's listening to it, I'm sure it's connecting deeply because a lot of times we forget that we are important. A lot of times we forget that we are held. A lot of times we forget that we are loved, and life is such that it's very easy, just listening to your story, that it's very easy to forget that, right? So maybe for a moment, like you said, you've been on this journey now over the last 8 years. um, would you be able to sort of walk us through, like, what kind of, at a micro level, like what made that shift possible for you? Because a lot of people go through pretty much all their life in this state of blindness or stuckness. Do you remember when something just kind of shifted and you're like, okay, you know, I think it's time now. Like when you hear that.
Suffering is a very big gift, I
Mm.
think. I suffered so deep. Uh, yeah, my pain was too big. I couldn't
Mm.
handle it anymore. I remember even one negative thought would like just, it's like there's current going on in my being, you
Wow.
know?
Wow.
And I remember I was at the beach and I sat with myself and I only there was negative thoughts in my head. There
Mm.
was anxiety and I was not able to function and I was there for the sunset and I promised myself that now I'm choosing to live because I had a choice to like at that point I was considering not to be here and go away from this reality.
Mm.
But then I was like, okay, I choose to be here and now I'm going
Wow.
to just live the best life that ever is possible for humans and then would be guiding them for it. And I made a commitment
Mm.
to myself at that point.
Wow.
And then there was no looking back.
Mm.
Everything,
Amazing.
all forces in. And
Mm.
I think there was something inside me which was guiding me as all of us and I just followed that guidance
Mm.
and it has stayed, so till now.
Mm.
uh, as I said that this woke up something in me, which is who we are.
Mm.
So I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. This was, and I would say this was my heart energy. It's like, there was this love that was just coming out of me that was supporting me and like making a bubble around me and healing. And I didn't know what how is healing, but I knew that I was healing. And
Right.
we just know it internally.
Mm.
So yeah, I would say this was the turning point in my life.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And from that point on, like, can you like specifically say like what were some of these moments that kind of shaped your thought process? Because before that, you looked at life a certain way, you were experiencing life a certain way, and then from that moment on the beach and that decision that you made, that kind of started this whole process, right? So, um, and the reason why I'm asking you this is because a lot of times people forget to pick up on the signs, right? So the intent here, of course, is that for the people who are listening to this story, it just kind of reminds them that, hey, you know what? I have actually been seeing these signs. It's just that I've not paid attention.
Yeah.
So, are there any of these that you can recall? Like, yeah, there was this moment, and then this happened, and then this happened, and these have all led to where I am today.
um I right now I'm in a space where I feel that all my life is a sign. Everything in it. It's like
True.
I
Very true.
yeah, I'm actually in Tiruvannamalai and I'm with my enlightened teacher,
Nice.
self-realized teacher. And
Beautiful.
I've worked with her, like sat with her before also last year. So it's the place that she makes me look at and find
Mm.
in myself is the place which says that everything is always in harmony
Mm.
and that
Mm.
yeah and that this life is like yeah divine, we are
Mm.
divine, everything is
Mm.
divine. So I remember there was a time in my life when I was more mental and I would try to make meaning of things. I
Mm.
mean science have of course their own place,
Mm.
but for me I after that learning where I found myself a little bit dependent on the outside,
Mm.
oh, this and then going into a mental space. And now it's more like whatever is, everything is
Mm.
divinity, and all
Mm.
of it is
Mm.
my evolution, and all of it is has support, you know.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I'm more in this space,
Got
and
it. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
many things help me though, like
Mm.
in the journey.
Mm.
My partner at that time,
Mm.
after the guy I met, he helped
Mm.
me a lot also. I changed my food a lot, it helped me.
Mm.
Um, even my ex helped me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were many things. I lived a very different life after that. There was a huge calling inside of me, if you could call it a sign, to teach people, teach
Mm.
children, and to
Mm.
serve Mother Earth. So I was in Vietnam healing myself,
Wow.
traveling. First, I traveled in India, then I was in Vietnam, and then I was
Mm.
teaching children. I came back during COVID time. I was very blessed.
Mm.
Before COVID, somehow I came back.
Right.
And then I started an off the grid community in
Mm.
Kodaikanal, and I was
Nice.
living off the grid, fully growing a permaculture forest and
Mm.
living barefoot, becoming a
Wow.
fruitarian. So,
Wow.
yeah, all of this really helped me. Like just being away in nature, it was very,
Mm.
very healing. And just having
Mm.
love. I'm in a very beautiful relationship with my ex. He's actually here with his wife, and they're
Mm.
both pregnant. They're both pregnant.
Wow. Wow.
So we're a very beautiful family now, in
Mm.
a way that between me and my ex is so like a soul level relationship that you can
Mm.
say.
Mm.
Um, uh, we're family, soul family, and there's
Mm.
nothing sexual, nothing from the time that we departed.
Mm.
Yeah, I found in the wife. There's like we found unconditional love because of the
Mm.
way I went on my journey and I shifted my consciousness. There were so many things that I had to understand and let go of, and this was the
Mm.
time when I started on the journey of unconditional love.
Mm.
And he was the one that I could practice it on.
Mm.
So this is
Nice.
unconditional love.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, and so many things happened. He's actually a very beautiful being because he could also accept. And then we found this girl,
Mm.
for him just a year before, and
Mm.
and that's why I feel that I have something really deep to share with
Mm.
people.
Mm.
And it's really not necessary for people to go back to their exes and become like soul
Mm.
friends or something. Oh, there
Mm.
she is.
Long life.
But even being neutral is, 1 second. You
Yeah.
have to put something outside. Yeah. Uh, Even being neutral is
Mm-hmm.
something that is what we are looking at, because
Mm.
just to understand that we create our reality, and the
Mm.
experience that we create is us, and then we invited somebody to co-create this, whatever good or bad.
Mm.
So we're very responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Hmm. So, since we're talking about, this podcast being primarily in service of people who are healers and coaches, as you've been kind of reflecting on, your journey over the last 8 years and moments in your life where, uh, you've had these realizations, um, is there something that you'd love to share with people, especially who are on this journey of healing, and people who recognize that, hey, you know what, somewhere inside of me is this calling to be able to help other people, right? Is there something that you'd love to share with them that can help them on their journey?
Yes, definitely. Number one thing is many times we feel that if we are not healed, we cannot help people. And if we have
Mm,
our some issues going on, we cannot help people, but it is not
mm,
true at all. There's
mm,
somebody who's looking for your smile just for you to hear them and just, I don't know, to give a few things that might have worked in your life,
mm, mm,
and you can transform someone's life. For,
mm,
it's not necessary to have high skills, and just your open heart and
mm,
the ability to be present with somebody, to listen to them. This is so much that you can offer to somebody.
mm,
Um, don't doubt yourself. When you step into the path shows up. And
mm,
just it's really just about following your calling, being
mm,
courageous. And if you have a calling, you have to help people
mm.
the same
Right.
way, probably the way you were helped. And
Mm.
yeah, we need more help healers. We need more
Yeah,
coaches.
yeah,
We definitely need.
yeah.
So
Let,
just do it.
let me ask you a question in this context, because a lot of times people, like push that calling away. So could you share with us like that moment when you realized that, oh, this is my calling and I'm meant to do this? What was that like for you when you discovered it, when you became aware of it and then accepted it?
Yeah, I pushed it for a long time.
Mm,
Uh, I very much now know where am I heading, and probably little bit ahead. I don't know
Yep.
because life is always evolving.
Mm.
But I feel very comfortable with what I do. I really feel so aligned with what I do. And
Mm.
in the beginning, I did not start with this. I started with a fitness
Mm.
business, and this was because my partner at that time was really good at it. And so it's like you put, oh, I can't do it.
Mm.
I'll just help you. I'll put you forward, kind of a thing, and never
Mm.
coming to the spotlight yourself, acknowledging your
Mm.
capabilities.
Mm.
But something on the side was always telling me that you have to help people for their mental reprogramming, for connecting with their heart, for connecting with their spirit
Mm.
and consciousness. So I was on the side doing this kind of work, and also when I was helping people with fitness, I was only working on this.
Mm.
So this gave me a lot of confidence because I was what I was doing, I could see there was a huge impact that people were having, and I could see that this is really valuable for them because people were coming back, they were appreciating, everybody was
Mm.
happy.
Mm.
So then after that came a point where I realized I could not do fitness anymore. There was nothing, no cell of my body ready to do it, you know. And I'm somebody, since the time I've faced this in my life, I just follow my heart. It's like
Nice.
something in me shifted that I cannot do what I am not meant to do. It's like it's such a big like force that you have to put, and this effort doesn't come because through effortlessness I have healed myself and
Yeah.
achieved so much
Yeah.
in my life and
Mm.
got everything through this.
Mm.
So then when my all my body was like, no, we can't do it. It's like I just how do I move forward, So I was like, okay, let's shift it. And then I
Mm.
had to do a few experiments, and then just took a little bit of time. I was very patient
Mm.
with myself, very loving, very like
Mm.
trusting the process. Just dropped in.
Nice. Nice. Do you remember when that clicked? When you just dropped in?
uh, I would say it's always been a journey of unfolding to realize that.
Mm. Mm.
So it's like, okay, this feels like right. And then you do that. And then you're like, whoa, whoa. With like things are coming in. And then you're like,
Yeah.
wow, like it's going good. And then, more things come in. So it's like this. And I really believe that it's gonna expand more and more.
Yeah.
Like I know it.
Mm. Mm. Nice. So, in let's talk a little bit about like modalities, right? Meaning like the processes that I'm sure you've learned over these last 8 years. What was that journey like? As you discovered one process after the other, and walk us through that journey. Like, how did you come across them, and how did they all start to kind of like? Did they connect together, or were you doing them like separately? And all of that has, of course, led you to where you are today. But if you go back in time, like, take us through that journey.
Yeah, I think the biggest process that I had was following my heart and my
Mm.
inner consciousness or whatever. Like, there's nothing bigger than that. We can learn many things in our head, but the deepest thing that really helps
Mm.
us is our own inner being that we have.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so this led to self hypnosis. I think this
Mm.
was very, very big for me, and I realized how it is so powerful to just put these tapes on and go into these states, or
Mm.
like give yourself suggestions, and it's doing crazy things. I'm able to
Mm.
sleep better. Like I'm
Mm.
not able to sleep, and I just just tune in this information in me that I sleep better, and now
Mm.
something shifted, and like it's unfolding into that,
Mm.
getting beautiful houses, getting my farmhouse, getting beautiful partners or friends to be with, like for my business or my personal life. Everything I was able to tune into. And this brings in so much confidence in you that, oh, wow, I have some power here going on. I have influence in my life. I'm not
Right.
just a victim. So, like
Wow.
shifting from this state of victim consciousness to creator consciousness
Mm.
was very deep through the process of hypnosis, as well as reading many teachers at that point. Because, as I said, in the beginning, I didn't take any help from anybody because I
Mm.
was so ashamed. I was
Mm.
so ashamed to share it with anybody. And
Mm.
so And this is my biggest power because went so deep into it to heal myself that I know everything that goes
Mm,
into it and what is going on.
mm,
And yeah, after that, also like changing my food helped me bring a lot of like stability, because I have not eaten sugar for like last 6 years, no
wow.
processed food for 6 years, no grains for last 5 years. I don't recommend everybody to do it. I
Mm,
was off salt for 2 years, I think, on fruits only for 2 years. It was just my own journey. But
mm,
all of this gave me a lot of perspective on how even diet has a huge role to play on how we
mm,
feel. We don't have to
mm,
go so extreme like I did,
mm,
but just cleansing out, at some
mm,
level is really, really beautiful.
mm,
Um, uh, yeah, healing my inner child traumas also helped me a lot.
mm,
I think deepest of my fears that were around health and loneliness, and blocks that I had with my parents, all of this I could heal just by going into deep meditations,
mm,
and also like with hypnosis. So, and forgiveness was a very big part of it. So I would go into these meditations where I would like love my parents as children and like love
mm,
myself as children, as you do a lot of inner child healing work. So I did this like because there was actually no other way for me. I would do it morning and night every day for a long period of
mm.
time.
Wow.
And I tuned in really beautiful things for myself, and I opened my heart with affirmations. Um, yeah. So um, yeah, forgiveness, connecting, reconnecting with my parents just in my consciousness. I didn't take anything outside. I didn't do anything outside, just going in and cleaning and healing and realizing that I don't love. I have all wounds on me, and coming to a
Mm,
space of love for them, for my sisters. I realized
mm,
I was not loving anybody. It was
wow.
all in my head that I felt that I loved, but I was not loving. Really, true love
Mm,
is not this. True love is something else. So
mm,
coming to a space for all my family, forgiving my past, knowing that it's all for my good through hypnosis, through inner child healing,
mm,
was really a deep part of it. And also affirmations have always helped me like crazy,
mm,
to create my self-worth. I've
mm,
chanted like I love myself for 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 times a day.
wow.
And creating hobbies and things that I truly love to do. So all my day I would just be in this energy of love, doing exactly what I want to do, just like tuned
Mm,
in that. And this was very healing, playing
mm,
music, dancing. Dancing was very, so movement is something that helps you release old suppressed emotions,
mm,
which is what we are looking at
mm,
doing in the healing journey.
right.
And through all of this, I was becoming present.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, my deepest teacher was my inner self.
mm, mm,
And after this, to coach people, of course, I got into different modalities, and then I learned hypnotherapy as well, subconscious
mm,
mind reprogramming. And then I'm really influenced by Kartika Nair's work as
mm,
well. She has
mm,
also guided me a lot. Pain body meditation is really amazing.
mm,
Then I've also learned with Matthew Hussey. He's a, top relationship coach,
mm,
through his heartbreak recovery programs. And then I have an enlightened teacher here in Tiruvannamalai, you
mm,
know. So she's like she goes to the root of all of it.
mm. Nice.
Don't need to do too much in the head.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you've kind of given us a quick outline of people who you've met and people who have made an impact in your journey. Before we go, sort of deeper into that, let me ask you this, Kartika. So, let's say, when someone reaches out to you, what do you do today with them? So, basically, it's like saying, behind, if we are that fly on the wall, what would we be seeing? What would we be hearing as you're working with this person? Could be one on one, or it could be even be in a group. But like typically, what would one notice, or what would one see and learn?
Yeah. Number one step would be to start healing the pain that they have in them.
Mm, mm,
So it's like, because when we have pain, we cannot get through anything. You tell anything mentally,
mm,
you do anything, it's like nothing's going through. So through different practices like pain body meditation, subconscious mind reprogramming, healing hypnosis tapes,
mm,
hypnotherapy, all of this, even talking solution
mm,
oriented therapy. So healing whatever is unresolved,
mm,
allowing them to release the suppressed emotion, validation that you're fine, you're good, it's
mm,
everything is okay, creating that safe space for them. So because it's like when people are going through a breakup and they don't have a deep
mm,
inner connection, they're going through a trauma.
mm,
It's exactly everything is the same. The response that they have in their body is like, because now their source of oxytocin and serotonin has been taken away, so they're like
mm,
this addiction, you have, you feel like you've been de-addicted from
mm,
something. So this is the space that they're in, and also the sense of loss that they experience
mm,
is the same that you have when you lose your primary caregiver or your parent. So you are
mm,
abandoned, right? You have rejection along with that. You have
mm,
loss. So there's a lot of grief and this for PTSD, exactly, you're
mm,
in that state. So providing that safe space, most of the
mm,
people are not able to get it with the
mm,
family or
mm,
with friends. Safe space, helping them remove all the triggers around them. So like,
mm,
no contact because your wounds are getting triggered,
mm,
environmental changes, in
mm,
physical life. Then moving into like, as I said, same time, like teaching them how to be present with their emotions, how to release them from the body, from whatever, like a subconscious space.
mm,
All of this is through different practices, tapes
mm,
that I make also
mm.
specifically for this.
Nice.
I do cord cutting, so like they can like let go just
Mm,
subconsciously also. It's really crazy. Last time when I did it, my client next day he had divorce date that was not getting through, and
mm.
then peacefully, they
Wow.
could, yeah, separate.
Mm, mm.
So as you know, you must know how impactful it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
Mm,
this would be the first step: healing, safety,
mm,
take out all the triggers. The second would be reframing the story and letting
mm,
go of the other person, because what we are
mm,
looking at is not facts. We have stories in our head,
mm,
and we have made them either the devil or the angel, and we
mm,
have forgotten about, either we've like made the old, like the bad parts too big, or the forgotten the bad parts. So
mm.
you're giving them too much space, all your focus
Right.
is on them, bringing
Mm,
that focus here.
mm,
You're the hero of your story.
mm.
They're not so
Yeah,
special.
so true.
So taking that, either ask them for rent if they're taking so much space, they should get some money for, so taking their mental space back,
Mm,
cutting out all the story that they have, reframing that there's so much going good in their life. We forget we're blessed,
mm,
acknowledging the good. As Kartika says, we have an acknowledgement
mm.
problem.
Yeah,
There's
true.
so much running.
Mm,
The sun is rising, you have family, you have food, you have body, health, everything. So shifting that neuro pathways, you change the
mm,
pathways
mm,
by changing the patterns of how they look at things.
mm,
So the second, and learning how that the one that is meant for you is the one who's gonna be for you. They're
mm.
not meant for you,
Right.
and there's so many people in this world,
Mm,
the what you created with them is 50% of you or
mm,
60% of you.
mm.
You can create that beauty if you want with somebody else.
Right.
So yeah, so just making them understand, giving them
Mm,
love, showing them the truth, perspective shift.
mm,
And this is the second part,
mm.
letting them go. Then the third part would be self-confidence, because there's a lot of
Right.
rejection that people are
Mm,
say,
mm.
facing, and they forget who they are, that how
Mm.
worthy they are, how beautiful and loved they are.
Yeah,
So tapping
true.
into self-love, which is my
Mm,
favorite. This is what saved my life, And Teal Swan, she says self-love is the shortest path to enlightenment. Um, if I don't know if you know about Namal Ravikant, he's
mm,
a big entrepreneur. He
mm,
he says, "Love yourself as your life depends on it." And
mm.
I was reading his book, and everything that he practiced is something that I applied in my life as well. For
Nice.
he himself was going through a heartbreak at this time, and his company was failing and he was sick and his best friend had died. Like worst things that can happen to
Mm,
anybody was happening to him. And this is the time when he, started loving himself. And
mm,
crazy enough, the first step that he took was a mental loop of just saying, I love myself. I love
mm,
myself. And then he did mirror work, which is just looking in the eyes and saying that I love you. And all of these practices helped me when I was out of bed and I was like, whoa, where is space? What
mm.
are we doing? And I looked at myself and I was like, I'm with you. I support you. you know, this
Right.
is a very deep, deep foundation
Yeah.
to have.
Amazing.
So, yeah. So the last part is self love. Uh, that yeah, this is my favorite topic.
Mm,
I
I
can
can
keep
tell.
going on. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So, sort of like a adjacent question, if I may. More and more we are recognizing that community is really what keeps all of this intact, right? Through the highs and the lows that we go through you know loss, and through also, of course, gaining things in our life. But when you have community, it literally becomes like it's almost like that's your secret weapon. Yeah. Or it's
Yeah.
like your resource to the universe. So I'd love to get a sense from you, like how, because this is something I have discovered over a period of time. But one of the things that I always like to ask my guests is, what's your take on community, not only for you as a healer and a coach and the journey that you're on, but also if you're already on that path of building your own community, what's that like?
What else are we living for? What is the point of life if you don't have your community? I really think
Mm,
like this. You
nice.
know, it's yeah, you can have a lot of fun by yourself, but only like after some point you're like, okay, I need my friends, my family,
Mm,
my
mm,
partners. Like this is what we are engaging and sharing. It's
mm,
like sharing,
mm,
and without each other we are nothing. We're all
right.
one. And
Mm,
this connection, as I was saying, you lose the connection and then there's a stress. What is
mm,
trauma? It's like you've disconnected from yourself and
mm,
universe.
mm,
And when we are able to co-function with each other in love, in harmony, provide for each other when we need, this is the most beautiful thing, you
mm,
know. And I've
mm,
had experienced community in so many different ways in my life. When I was in Vietnam, we had a European community,
mm.
expats community rather, of teachers. And then I made my own community in the mountains where
Nice.
poor people were coming and living with us. Just
Mm,
our house was open and just people would come, and then we made it a little bit more formal. And then moving out of that, and now I have a community. I mean, I've been creating expand love community also for
mm,
many years. So all the people who are also into good diet and then healing
mm,
themselves, loving themselves, subconscious mind reprogramming, mindfulness, it's like a
mm,
space that I've offered for them. And
mm,
then I also have community with my teacher,
mm,
so we have people who are here. I mean, I've just come to meet her in Tiru, I said.
mm.
And then like so much love. Oh my God. Like you enter, step in here and you're like, oh, I feel so loved, you know.
Nice.
So also like we must have different sources of love in our life, not
Mm,
just our
mm,
partner. So
mm,
it's like, all kinds of community and
mm,
family. Family is also community.
mm.
So it's that's why we exist. We of course we
Yeah.
have our own evolution, inner evolution going on, but
Mm,
this can only be expressed if we have a set of people whom we can
mm.
share it with.
Nice. Beautiful. I love your responses. It says so much about the journey that you've been on, not only from where you were, but also places that you've been to, people that you've met, and the growth that you have absorbed into your being speaks volumes, right?
uh, Thank you,
So
Rahul. I appreciate a lot.
most welcome. So let me ask you this question, because this is a very important question that I had sort of missed. We are now a little over 50 episodes, and I had missed asking this question because I realized, a lot of times, and not just on the pod, but even otherwise, a lot of times as healers, as coaches, sometimes we forget to, to recognize the mentors who have been on our path and who have, been there to hold that space or been there to shine that light when we were looking, right? When we were searching. So I'd love for you to share your, journey of mentors. Like, who are some of these people that you came across, and maybe even if there is a story behind each of them, because I'm sure people will be inspired by you, and sometimes just hearing the name of a mentor can help them because they're already maybe looking for that same mentor, and hearing your story can probably strengthen that that belief that, yeah, you know what, maybe this is the mentor that I'm supposed to be with at this point in time. So
Yeah. Well, I think the but Hmm.
mm,
I have done plant-based medicines also. I think these have also been a
mm,
very deep mentor in my life. Just experiencing God, you
mm,
know, just
mm,
first-hand experience of God.
mm,
I think this was really, really powerful.
mm,
Humans, my teacher in Tiruvannamalai, I think
mm,
she's also embodying Divine Mother, which is what I experienced in my experience also.
mm,
So she she's called Amani, and
mm,
she lives in Tiruvannamalai. Space is called Skanda Yoga Shala, and we created a website which is called Sri Yogi Amani. I
mm,
think dot. I will have to check. I don't know.
mm, mm,
And yeah, she is one of the most biggest influence in my life.
mm,
She's the most amazing human I've ever met. She's so sorted, so
mm.
chill. You would not like for a real life being, you would think that, oh my God, they must have this and that. She's the most normal and simple person I've ever met.
Mm,
She has a small scooter, and everything just speaks volume, whatever she's doing,
mm, mm,
and very simple. She has had a very profound influence on my life,
mm,
very profound.
mm,
Um, yeah, I would even say Kartika Nair has,
mm,
because we were also saying that last year I joined her program for 6 months, and
mm,
she helped me develop a lot of things in me. Yeah,
mm,
especially just who she is, and of course all the practices that she,
mm,
does. Um, I have another teacher called Jatin Malik. He's the one who
mm,
taught me hypnosis,
mm,
hypnotherapy.
mm,
Uh, he's also an amazing guy. He has a very big journey of 17 years of helping himself, not helping other people heal
mm,
through hypnosis.
mm,
So he I love him also. He taught me a lot.
mm,
And yeah, then my previous partner is also a life coach. He's called Vishnu Vardhan. So he helped me also believe in myself a lot. He taught me many things, how to connect with myself. Yeah, more and more, I think these are the people I would have to
mm.
think. I was actually for a very long time not willing to learn from any teacher. And just
Mm.
because like I had helped myself, and it took me a little bit
Right.
to break that okay, I can receive.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Yeah, but when I opened,
Yeah.
it helped me a lot.
Yeah.
But these are the people I would say are my biggest teachers on the journey.
Nice. Nice. Amazing. So, one thing, of course, is all your links are there. They will be available on YouTube. When people
Yes.
find you on this pod. So that's one way for people to be able to reach out to you. At present, is there maybe a particular program or a book or something that, like a project that you're currently driving that you'd want more people to know about?
Yeah, I take group sessions as well as one-to-one coaching
Mm-hmm.
for healing people through divorces, separation, breakups, and even to
Mm,
get a new partner, or even
mm,
to have a harmonious relationship with themselves if they're
mm,
struggling.
mm,
Um, and yeah, this is the main thing that I'm running right now: group
mm,
coachings as well as
mm,
individual coaching for this.
mm,
I'm in a process to write a book.
Mm.
I yeah, when that comes out, I will definitely like,
Yeah.
publicize it everywhere.
Mm.
Um, and then my YouTube and Instagram is there. My
Yeah.
websites keep changing based on the
Mm.
workshops that we have.
Mm.
So there is healwithkartika.org, I think, and then kartikadubey.org. Both of them are there, but they keep
Mm.
updating based on the
Sure.
workshops.
Sure.
They're not,
Mm.
one place to find me. I would say YouTube and Instagram is good.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think this is it.
Nice. Nice. So as we slowly start to, as they say, get ready to land the plane, um, is there anything that you want to share, maybe as sort of like a, now that you've had a, you've done a brief retrospect of your own life, maybe from what you're saying, possibly the last 8 to 10 years, and maybe even beyond, when you kind of reflect back on where you started to, your journey over the last 10 years to where you are today, is there something that you'd love to share, or tell other people who are listening to this, something that you feel compelled to share at this point?
Yeah, because you said that maybe you could share the story of how you met met your teachers. I have actually very interesting stories.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher that I have in Tiruvannamalai, Amani, I remember I was struggling and I was in Auroville. I
Mm.
had to give a talk in a vegan festival, and I was just like by myself, and I was like, "What is next? I don't know." Okay, I really need help, and I want to go deeper in my meditation. There's something that is missing,
Mm.
and I just usually do this. Like if I want to manifest something, go in my subconscious in a very relaxed space, put it
Yeah.
in, and so in my meditation, I just like came to me this desire of meeting an enlightened teacher. Yeah, and I was like, where will I find an enlightened being? And it was like so deep in me, I would like
Mm.
see that I'm just like so hungry, and it's there's somebody just giving me water, It was
Mm.
just like this strong urge to find somebody, and I was like, where will I find an enlightened being? It's impossible. What are you thinking, Kartika? And then I was like, oh, maybe I need an astrologer because I want to know what my
Mm.
life is going to be like.
Mm.
I am really feeling lost. And in a
Mm.
matter of few days, I was in Mysore, and
Mm.
I was with my flatmate. I was just because traveling, and so we had hired a place,
Mm.
and she was sitting with somebody in the house. And I was
Mm.
like, who's this person? I just ignored. I just went out to walk, and then suddenly someone starts walking next to me. And then I look at that guy, and I'm like, hey, who are you? And like we start having a conversation, and then he's like, oh yeah, I was in the house that you were in, and I'm an astrologer. I was like, okay, let's meet tomorrow. And then I met him, and then he told me some things that were like present in me,
Mm.
and I was like, yeah, this feels really right. And then I left. I was again meditating, but feeling
Mm.
like, oh, I need somebody. So I text him,
Mm.
could I find a teacher ever for my enlightenment? And he's like, come meet me. And then I go like just talk with him, and he's like, hey, this person, you can go meet her at Tiruvannamalai. I was like, really?
Wow.
Is she enlightened? And he's
Mm.
like, yeah. I was like, oh, this guy's crazy. And then he said, she will give you energy. And I was like, what? I didn't believe in it. 3 days later, I was like, maybe this is my chance. I should go check it out. And I
Wow.
just arrived here. I remember the first day I was looking at my teacher like, who are you? It's like with so much like deception, like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to open myself up. And she's divine love, and
Mm.
it's been so beautiful to be with her.
Nice.
She's just like emitting. I sit with her, and you're somewhere else. And yeah, it's enlightenment is the crazy word. It's a lie, I would say, but just because we use this word,
Yeah.
but it's more like self-realization. So she helps you realize yourself that we are all
Mm.
consciousness,
Mm.
and it's so simple the way she
Mm.
does it. Yeah. So yeah, anything is possible. We're very powerful beings, and
Mm.
if someone doesn't know, I just want to tell you that all you desire for can come true.
Mm.
And honestly, all what we are desiring for is our own inner connection and connection with the divine, and it's
Mm.
always present. It's in us.
Beautiful.
We are divine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's definitely been very mind opening. And I can, as you said, you've been on this journey, and I can sense that you've had some really, really powerful experiences. And today you're at that point where, in so many ways, you're making yourself available to people so that they can have this experience. So, firstly, thank you for making the time. And just a little bit of context where we began to close that loop. We met, I think, maybe somewhere towards the end of last year, and then we happened to meet in person probably about a month ago. And it's beautiful that we've got to hang out like this. This is sort of my secret conspiracy. Like I meet the the people who I'm meant to meet, and I get to hear your story uninterrupted like this. And of course, for other people who are healers and coaches who are looking for that inspiration, looking for a way to, or looking for signs to tell them to keep going, right? Because a lot of times when we start this journey, it's very easy to give up. Yeah, because life has a funny way of testing us. And hearing your story, I'm sure people would have taken away that just keep showing up. And as you said, your mentors, your teachers, your healers will show up at the right time to keep you going. So I definitely want to wish you the very best on this journey. And Kartika, thank you for making the time to be here and to share your story, your journey.
Wow, Rahul. I want to add that you're a very beautiful being, such a lovely space that you provide for everybody to come in. It's like just land in love, also, I could say. So I felt so, I've received so much more than I could give you. I,
Mm,
I really feel like this. Am I
beautiful.
still on? Am I
Yeah, you're
internet
on.
is
You're
there?
on. You're on. You're
Okay,
on. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think you're a very you create a beautiful space, safe space. And thank you so much for doing that for me and like spreading everything that you're spreading on this podcast. You're very, you're, I would say, playing a very beautiful and unique and important role for all of us. And I'm very grateful. Thank you for sharing this energy. Thank you for sharing this safe space and love with me and with everybody on this podcast also.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And as I said, for folks who have reached this point, you know who you are. The fact that you're here just means that you've already found a kindred spirit. And however it is that you connect with Kartika, whether it is through her programs, through her coaching, or just her energy, you were meant to find her here like this. And want to thank you for sticking around and watching all the way till here. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's like, remember, it's all about you showing up and truly living your purpose. So thank you once again, Kartika, for your time, your energy. And for those of you who are tuned in, wishing you, of course, the very best on your journey, especially if you are already at that point of knowing and sensing more and more that you truly are a healer and a coach. Because as even what Kartika said, it's like the world needs more and more of us. Yeah. So God bless, and of course we will
Yeah.
keep doing more of these podcasts. If there's any particular guest or any particular topic that you'd like us to cover, do reach out and let us know. And of course, having said all of that, remember to live your purpose. God bless, and of course, we will be back with more. So take care, Kartika. Give
Lots
me
of
a
love.
second. Give me a second while I just
Goodbye.
pause our stream. There we go.